on me. Dark force that's cold and unseen. Oh, my hip pocket nerve is aching again. I must go back in and fight it out to the end. Space invaders, space invaders, space invaders, space invaders, space invaders, space invaders.
Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of my show. Today I will be reviewing Astrosmash for Intellivision and its oddly renamed port Astroblast for Atari 2600. Spin, blast, and drop into hyperspace to avoid a killer asteroid shower. Power on, attack computer engaged. Fire a quick burst at the alien antagonist. Got him! Wow, I just love cheesy, horribly written hype captions from the 80s. But it does explain the game pretty well. In case you Intellivision fans notice any little differences in the gameplay, I am actually playing this on an Intellivision 25 TV Play Power plug-and-play. And, well, honestly, though this plug-and-play was decent to play on, I have one big complaint. Why does it not look in any sort of way like an Intellivision controller? Oh, and also, this thing actually stopped working right after I finished recording it, so I would not recommend getting one. This game bears a close resemblance between the much more popular games Space Invaders and Asteroids. You control a laser cannon that can scroll both left and right along the bottom of the screen. The difficulty starts out almost insultingly easy, but the challenge does pick up much more in later stages. As with lots of games from this era, your goal is to shoot all the objects that are coming towards you. Most of the objects are meteors, which appear in different shapes and colors. There are also what I believe to be spinning bombs, spinners, and guided missiles. Generic UFOs will join the fray in later levels. Anything kills you if they hit your cannon, but don't let the spinning bombs touch the ground, or else you die as well. Okay, let's switch on over to the Atari version, Astroblast. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty just because I love the chaotic mayhem. Since the controller has only one button, you cannot use the hyperspace function. The game definitely has a huge decrease in quality. Where the Intellivision version clearly had mountains in the background, these things my imagination is struggling and failing to depict what they may be. My best guess is trees since they're green, but that's a far stretch. Oh well, it's Atari, so I guess they could be whatever you decide you want them to be. Okay, time to address the name difference. It's not like it was made by another company trying to profit off of making a clone of someone else's game, which was common back then. Nope, these were actually made by the same company, Mattel. So why the name change? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. Maybe they just thought that Blast sounded better than Smash. Wow, here's a thought. How about if Nintendo decided to change the name of Super Smash Bros. To Super Blast Bros? It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. The game has not quite been forgotten. A version of it was released on the Xbox 360 and Windows Game Room service, and a version was planned for the PlayStation Home service in a collection called Intellivision Generation 2. But, as far as I know, nothing has come of that. But, I'm a big fan of the current show The Flash, and I happen to notice that in some episodes, the character Cisco wears an Astrosmash t-shirt. I read that there's this weird glitch that can be performed on the Atari 2600 version, where weird things happen if you plug in a second controller. But this glitch can only be done on the first few production runs of the cartridges. So I started the Atari with both controllers plugged in. I found that I could not start the game with a second controller, so I didn't think it worked. But then I started the game and realized that I could use both controllers to control the cannon. So, automatically, my mind wondered what would happen if I pressed left on the one controller and right on the other. Things then got a little weird. I could still control the cannon, but it became invisible. And once I got hit, the screen just turned completely red and the lives counter went absolutely crazy. Definitely a very odd glitch. Okay, so since I seem to have died a whole lot while playing this, I'll end the episode with a death montage and count.